Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Media Literacy lesson number 10. And today's lesson is going to be about the empowerment approach to mass media. In addition, we will look at the last skill of media literacy we briefly touched on before, which is act on media. We will also introduce some other related and important issues that media literate people should be aware of. But first, let's define the term empowerment and empowerment theories. Empowerment, by all definitions, is a process of change where at the end of it, people gain independence and self-determination, where they are able to act in their own authority, practice their rights, and freely pursue their interests in a responsible way. By giving consumers the tools to evaluate, analyze, and create media, media literacy education enables consumers to eventually overcome their sense of powerfulness and lack of influence against the powerful media and their owners. It also enables users to decipher the media ecosystem and use its immense resources. As a result, people may be able to make better choices for themselves as individuals and as part of a community. And here are some leading theorists' definitions of empowerment. Robert Adam talks about the process where individuals and communities become in control of their lives, as well as helping others to lead quality of life and achieve goals, of course. Next is Julianne Rappaport that views empowerment pretty much the same as Robert Adam, where people, organizations, and communities gain mastery over their lives. The famous doctor of sociology, Barbara Solomon, defines empowerment from her field's point of view, um, the one stemming from people's experiences of discriminations and stigma. And the last theory by Perkins and Zimmerman states that empowerment is an intentional, ongoing process centered in the local community involving mutual respect, critical reflection, caring, group participation, and more. Now, let's look at types of empowerment. Economic, political, cultural, and social empowerment are the core components of media literacy education. So let's look at each of them. Economic empowerment talks about control over people's financial resources. Political empowerment is the ability to participate equally and make political decisions in a democratic society. Cultural is the strengthening of a cultural identity within a society, and social empowerment is the process that helps individuals and groups to work strongly to work together for common causes. It is very important for the media creator and the one who takes action on media to understand the new media landscape, especially the differences between traditional and social media. So, as you can see here, in traditional media, the audiences are targeted. As you can see, also information is unchangeable after publishing information, and that's due to press time that is delayed. Messages are one way and considered more reliable because of the strict codes of ethics imposed on traditional media reporting. Now, social media, on the other hand, has a huge global audience. Messages can be edited after we're published. The information is instant. It is two-way messaging, self-reported demographic information. It is often subjective by people's input. And there are fewer codes of ethics on what can be published. One should also be aware of the fact that new social media can often be misused as a platform for dissemination of conspiracy theories as well as propagandas. According to our dictionary, conspiracy theory is a belief that some influential organizations in disguise are behind and responsible for a particular publicly circulated event. This kind of theory denies the original accepted explanation for what happened and who was responsible for that. Instead, they blame different hidden groups or organizations for a secret plot with an aim to distort the common truth. An example for that is a conspiracy theory disseminated all over social media and the news at the time of the massacre that happened in Douglas High School, Florida, where 17 people were killed and 17 injured. The theory was that David Hogg, a student and a gun control activist, was supposedly a crisis actor who was sponsored and paid for by pro-gun control groups so they can push their gun control agenda further. Another phenomenon that can be found disseminated on social media is propagandas. A propaganda is purposely misleading and slanted information circulated on public mediums to advocate and promote political interests and points of view in order to influence public opinion. Now, your browsing behavior and information is often captured and stored through a small data feature called cookie. You are then tracked online for different reasons. The main reason is to make profit. This makes you, believe it or not, the product of sophisticated telemarketing companies. In fact, every website you visit leaves traces that help them bombard you with more and more ads they think you would like to see. Therefore, different user search yields different results. As a social media consumer, your personal information that you provide yourself on your profile is being sold for advertising purposes. Are you familiar with the saying, if you get something for free, you must be the product? Well, this is it. It can also be done through peer-to-peer sharing or sponsored posts, which offer consumers to be paid for sharing and letting companies place ads on your spaces, on people's spaces. By the way, in authoritarian countries, the following and tracking is done for political and controlling reasons. When we speak about the skill act on media, we encourage media consumers and creators like you to consider the following. To get well familiar with the laws of fair use, copyright, and some journalistic ethics. Also, to use media literacy skills to analyze and evaluate information. To let yourself be heard for the truth of matters and justice. You may also want to start your own media literacy social groups so that you can share with family, friends, and even your communities, other communities, media literacy skills. You want to speak up against wrongdoings, you want to get involved, you want to join a community. The bigger community, the better chance it has to change and overcome difficult issues. And last, when engaging and creating media online, be honest, be considerate, objective, and most of all, be human. Examples of people who act on media are influencers. A social media influencer is a confident, charismatic authority type media consumer who is usually very articulate, fast thinker, and knowledgeable, who can motivate and convince his or her audiences to think and act based upon their beliefs, also based on their reasoning and recommendations. There are some positive, inspirational, and great leaders of social media who really contribute to the creation of a better world. Those whose credibility in a specific field earn them a massive number of online followers. They could be just about any person who acts and speaks on issues that matter to people. On the other hand, you have those very toxic and controversial influencers who are busy promoting hate, violence, and sexual abuse, um, political divisions, and more. Now, in fact, great changes have been happening since the new internet has arrived. Global and local campaigns address serious issues on online platforms are increasingly becoming ways of creating world pressure to stop it. So, for example, many countries out of 27 that practice FGM, which is the ritual of female genital mutation, started to turn against it. In 2016, Egypt passed a law that incriminates doctors and parents who take part in such brutal rituals. And recently, Sudan's new government also banned the widespread of the same practice that, according to the UN, is performed on 9 out of 10 young girls. So, as we mentioned previously, good things can happen with the new technology and the internet, but many other negative effects can be vicious and detrimental. We, the community of media literacy education, are here to try to eliminate the latter and reach all people in this universe uh, to make them aware of that scenario. And at the same time, empower them to preserve democracy, to try to achieve peace, and pursue just. I'm convinced that you, wherever you are, will take part of it and start spreading the word to family, friends, and communities wherever they are. You never know whose life you are going to change. Until next time, so long, everyone.